Hello, everyone. So welcome to Mastering the Odoo demo and turning every presentation into an opportunity or a project. All right, so just to start. So my name is Ralph. I'm a partner manager here in Odoo. So I've been with the company for the past 3 years. So I also worked on the two different channels. So I work on the direct channel where we used to do a lot of demos on a daily basis, like 2-3 demos on a daily basis. And then we started by and then we also started by working on the channel department as well. All right. So the agenda for the meeting today is basically going through the sales cycle, understanding what is the sales cycle, going from the qualification to the discovery call to the demo, mistakes to do, what should you avoid, what should you not avoid, and then obviously asking all of these questions and taking things forward. All right. So let's start with the sales process. So this is the Odoo sales process, and this is what we do. So the terminology might not be exactly what you guys use, but this is what we use actually internally. All right. So first of all, we're going to be starting by getting the lead. Obviously, whenever you guys get the lead, you need to check you need to do your due diligence, understand who is this lead, who am I talking to, and so on. Then the first call that you will do with this specific lead is called a qualification call. So it's about understanding the need behind the customer's request and see if they are a good fit for Odoo. So obviously it's like a 2-3 minute call that you guys do with your customers. It's about basically understanding what do they want, why are they looking for Odoo, right? The next meeting that will happen, or after you guys finish this discovery call, you need to book a meeting with the person. You need to go into something called a discovery call. It's about basically asking the right questions to understand the process and understanding the business operations. So this is a meeting where the customer is purely talking about their business, about their pain points, about what they are looking for, what are the things that they are struggling with. And basically, me as an Odoo person, I'm just asking the questions, understanding how can we solve these issues. And this is where we go to the next step, which is called the demo. And specifically, we wrote here doing a pain point demo. Obviously, the customer needs to see a solution for what he is struggling with. And this is where we add value the most, because the customer needs to see how can he solve all of his issues. And this is why he wants to move into a new ERP. So after we finalize everything, we need to write all of the requirements in a scope of work, which is basically a document that has all of the business requirements, deadlines, customizations, things which are within the scope, out of scope, all of the processes and the developments that they have. And finally, going into the commercials meeting, where you guys will be drafting a proposal with the users, with the implementation, with AMC contracts, with any other hidden fees that might also be available, and going into the project initiation. All right. By the way, if you have any questions, please just write them down in the comments. All right. So let's go to the qualification call. So as we said, the qualification call is basically the first call that you guys do with the customer. So my main advice is basically selling starts at the beginning. From the first call that you guys have with the customer, that's the most important first impression that you guys have, or they will have for you. So never start a demo without doing the qualification call. Never assume anything about the requirements of the partner or of the customer. Yeah, I think you do it that way because I worked with a customer who did something similar. Never do this. Make sure that every single customer will have and might have and most probably will have different requirements than the other person. Okay? So the main objective, as we said, is understanding the why. It's also good for me because should I waste my time on this client or he's actually serious? So this is a very important feature because you're going to be deciding whether this customer is worth it or not. This customer is worth me doing 10 demos with, or I'm just going to do 1 demo with. So pay attention to your tone. So something that, which is very funny that we always do in Odoo, we always stand up. We just are walking around anytime we're having a call with the customer. We just stand up because it's going to affect your confidence a lot. It's going to affect your body language. It's going to help you with the energy. And even studies show that whenever you stand up, your energy will go up by 7% as well. So this is also something which is very important. And always smile. The customers can feel your smile. They can know how friendly you are, how energetic you are, how, again, it's a call. You're not even face to face with the person. And if this is a face to face thing, you also need to take care of your body language, because the customer can actually see you if you guys are nervous, if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're talking about. So this will also affect a lot the how he feels about you. So if you guys would like to write what are the main points that you usually take whenever you guys are having a qualification call, like to me, and I divided them into 3 different categories. So the first one is basically the contact details. So it's very important for you to know the person's name, the position, who are you talking to? Is this person the one who's going to be paying me the money? Or is it the decision maker? Or is it the person who's going to influence the decision? Or is it the person who's going to be leading me or opening the door for me to go up to the management? So it's very important. And it's also even more important for you to know what is the company name. And it's not only about the company name, it's about knowing, is this company a daughter company, a sister company, the mother company? Do they have like 10 companies within the same group, or is it only one company? So again, these are the things that will help you throughout all of the sales cycle. And obviously our goal is for us to close the deal and make the money, right? So the information that you guys see over here will help you understand if this customer is a long-term customer, if this customer is a customer just wasting my time, and so on. So the next information that is very important is the business information. What do they do? How do they operate? How long have they been in business? The number of employees? What are the even going to the legacy system, what are the different softwares that they are using? Are they using one software, or do they use 5 different softwares, one for accounting, one for HR, one for sales, one for CRM? So understanding what do they use and why do they want to change? What are the issues with X software? Why do they want Odoo specifically? So these are very important, because again, whenever you follow the process, this is something that management always tells us, just follow the process. Just do what you're supposed to do from the qualification, making sure that you qualified the person correctly, you went to the next steps, everything is correct. And finally, the booking the next meeting. Like, what's your next meeting? Is it a demo? Is it a discovery call? Is it a face-to-face person with the management? What do you guys need to do? Cool? So let's go to the discovery call. So what we do in a discovery call is basically introducing, first of all, yourself, introducing Odoo. What does Odoo do? Like having like a presentation. This is something that I usually do for bigger customers. So if I have a company with like 50 users, 100 user deal, the company has been in business for like the past 15, 20 years. Obviously, I need to impress them with Odoo. Right? So I prepared like a very nice presentation talking about the common, the customers that we have worked with in the same industry. And it's also about introducing myself, building rapport with the client. It's also about going like maybe sometimes personal, just for us to like each other, because people buy from people they like. All right? Going to the next point, it's identifying the customer needs. So basically in the discovery call, the customer will be talking more than you. They're going to be talking about 70 to 80% of the time. My job as a salesperson is just to ask the right questions and listen. I didn't understand something, asking more questions. That's the main goal. And writing everything down. So it's about understanding the customer needs and workflows. And also, by the way, something here, I always like to have like a roadmap. For example, let's say the customer is in trading, right? So I always like to start with purchase. So purchase inventory, because first of all, he's going to purchase the product, then he's going to store them in the inventory, right? So after he stores them in the inventory, I need to start selling them. So how do I sell? Is it on the POS? Do I sell on, do I have a retail shop? Do I sell B2B, B2C, online, whatever it is? Then after we sell, we're going to be talking about the accounting part. So recording every single transaction that's happening in the company. How are they paying me? Are they paying me by payment gateway, by online transfer? How is it exactly? So always have like a roadmap. Even till today, I always have like a map. What is the workflow that I would like to have? Why? Because it's very It's not going to be looking very appealing if you go, for example, first of all, from purchase, then you go, for example, to HR. Then I remembered there was something I forgot to ask you, Mr. Customer, and then you go into something else. So it's going to be too crowded. So making sure everything is super organized, obviously understanding the impact and the urgency as well. So in this case, we have so many customers who will tell us, so Ralph, I want this feature, and I want that feature, and I want this feature. So they start giving us all of the big dreams and the goals, and I want to go live in 5 days, and I want this crazy integration, and I don't know what. So it's also very important for you to answer and to set expectations as well, like making sure whatever they require is doable, and it's efficient, and it works. All right, and this is like a rule in every single meeting or every single call that you guys have with the customer is setting the next steps. So if I have a qualification call, I need to set my discovery call. So the next steps of a discovery call are either you have different points. Either the project is a little bit complicated and I need another discovery call. This is one. Two, the project is too complicated and I need to do a gap analysis. We need to sit with every single department. The project is too complicated. We need to understand. We need to analyze the feasibility and everything. And number three is going directly to a demo, which is if you're talking with a small to medium industry client, it might work directly. All right. By the way, please, if you have any questions, just write them down. So let's go to the demo time. So we finished the qualification call. We went into the discovery call. Everything is fine. We wrote everything. Let's go into the demo. So even before doing the demo, so this is where we start adding more value. This is where the customer starts seeing that this salesperson is actually working. This salesperson is actually putting the effort. So preparing a database prior to the meeting is something which is very nice. Why? Because you're going to be installing all of the apps that you guys need and adding some customizations here and there, adding a product, adding a logo, adding maybe some accounts, configuring a few things that need to be done so that whenever the customer actually joins the session, he can actually see his products. For example, let's say you're selling to a bakery. He can see all of the food products that you have. Right, so it's important for him to be able to imagine and envision what or how he will be working on Odoo. So this will also again help you with these are some selling techniques as well. Rather than doing just a general demo, for example, okay, whoever I have, whichever customer I'm gonna use this database. Okay, and knowing exactly the business flow that you are going to do and show. So I always like to have a pen and paper. Again, same thing as a discovery call, just knowing what I need to demo and what are the things that I need to show the customer. And it's also super important to adapt to the technical and functional knowledge of the customer. So many people don't know technicalities. So many people don't know ERPs. And so many times the customer that you're doing the demo to might be a first time he actually sees a demo. They might be maybe using or doing everything manual. So it's very important for you to adapt to what the customers want. Okay, and as I said, always have a pen and paper. Make sure you have your workflow. What are the things that you need to focus on? For example, okay, let's say the main pain point before that they mentioned was X. So I need to talk about X. I need to show him how we can solve X. Okay, and this is again, whenever you do the process correctly, whenever you focus on what they want, this is also another way. It's also another win that will help you for you to close the deal. All right. So it's also very important before you start to recap everything. So this is how I usually start my demo. So I always break the ice with the customer. I always try to build something with the customer, improving the trust between me and him, improving the relationship between me and him. And I always prefer to do my demos face to face because I can also see their reaction and how do they feel about it. Right? So I always repeat, what are the things that we discussed? What are the things that we will be discussing, which is the agenda of the meeting, explaining the apps that we will be presenting. So I don't want to go over a workflow that the customer doesn't need. For example, let's say we're just going to cover today the procurement, the sales cycle, and so on. Why should I talk about the HR? Or why should I talk about marketing that we have? I don't, the more you talk, the worse it becomes. The more I'm trying to sell the client, the worse it becomes. Just go and stick to the workflow. I know sometimes that it might be a big deal. You want to try to impress the customer more. You want to try to secure like an extra card or an extra bullet for you to close, to be able to close the deal. But sometimes this will hurt you. If the customer doesn't need it, just don't talk about it. This is why it's important for you to, in the beginning, just go over through the apps that you guys have, but only demo the things that the customer needs. Make sure you have the name and the position of everyone involved in the meeting. In parentheses, know your audience. So why is this important? Because if I'm doing an accounting demo and you have three people over, I need to make sure that I'm presenting to the accountant. Why? Because I need to impress the accountant. So if I'm demoing an accounting software to a salesperson, they might not understand, or they might not know everything that they want. So this is also very important, because so many features that are found in Odoo are not found in other softwares, which is also a very strong point that will help you also close the deal. And as we said before, it's the first time that your customer might see this. So don't go too fast. Don't go technical. Don't use your mouse and use your keyboard very quickly. And again, just be calm. Again, even if it's, by the way, if it's an online demo, the customer might not see what you're seeing. So it's important for you to highlight what you are doing as well. So this is like a small tip that you guys have. So if I'm talking, for example, about something in the sales, I always highlight what I need to do. And I always ask questions. Do you see the sales button over here? Yes, so I can continue. Again, people might not be used to Odoo. Okay, so this is why it's very important for you to know your audience, know if they have used Odoo before, know if they have used other ERP softwares as well, or other CRM softwares, for you to be able to move forward. Okay, and so once we go to the database, we need to start explaining the basics. So I always explain, like, what are the buttons which are here? So what is the messaging button? What does the messaging button do? What does the profile button do? What does the chatter button do? How can I see what do I have today? How can I see what are the messages that were sent to me? I also go to the app application or the app module. So I just go through all of the workflows that we have. So we have the services, we have the sales, we have the manufacturing, we have the HR, we have the marketing. I just list them all for the customers to know what Odoo has and what are the applications that Odoo has, because we have more than 70 apps, right? So I will be adding value, but again, going back to the first point, but Mr. Customer, we're just going to be going through the sales workflow, okay? So I also show them how they can add users, how easy it is to add users, how easy it is to change the language, setting the access rights. I don't go into it much. I just show them that, okay, so you're going to be using 10 users, but obviously the 10 users won't have access to all of the system, right? So this is why we need to give the access rights as well. Going to the contact. So I always mention what's the most important application? Definitely it's the contact, because this is where you have your customers, your suppliers, and everyone, right? So I just show them how to be able to add a contact, how automatically the contact will be added, how for you to add the filters in the middle, how to group by, to do the filters by, having the different views from the Kanban view to the list view to the pivot view. So, and also adding a product. So I show them how easy it is for me to add a product, how we can import an actual product as well. And finally, talking about the chatter and the activities. So explaining how you can send emails, how you guys can log notes, how you guys can put reminders, how you guys can tag other people as well, sending WhatsApp messages, all from the chatter. All right? So to continue, it's very important for you to be dynamic. It's also very important for you to be enthusiastic, because if you're going to be monotone, hello everyone, how are you, the customer will be bored. Obviously, we're doing something which is online, especially if I'm focusing on the online part. So people cannot feel your energy always. People cannot see you. People cannot, and people will be bored very easily. You don't want the person to be on his phone and just scrolling around the social media apps, right? So it's very important for you to be dynamic, for you to be enthusiastic, and for you also to be very interactive as well. So don't show a list of features, show the solution that the customer needs. So always explain the business purpose, the pain point demo, as we said before. And again, the demo is not a training. It's a way for you to impress them. I don't care about teaching them. I'm not going to be teaching them. We have full-on functional consultants who are the people who will be teaching these people. So this is why the demo is purely a way for me to impress, show them the macros, show them how things look as well, and show them like a management view demo as well. Especially, it all depends on who are you demoing to. This is why we mentioned in the beginning, know your customer. All right? So it's all about the business flow and the integrations between the apps. For example, let's say I go to the CRM view. I can show them how can I create a customer. If I press on the customer, it's going to take me to the contact view. So from the contact view, how can I access the customer's invoices, the customer's bills, the customer's quotations, the customer's subscription? How can I see all of the communication? So even it's linked to the help desk, to projects, to tasks. So the basic objective here is for me to show them I don't need to do anything. It's just that the system is fully integrated. I might not need other softwares for me to integrate because they are already found on Odoo, and seamlessly I can just move through them, right? So don't just hop from one app to another. Don't do all of these fast things. Don't do all of the controls, alt things, shortcuts that you guys can do. Make sure that you can show everything to the customer, going one step at a time, one application at a time, showing them all of the sales cycle as well. For example, I show them how can I create a lead in the CRM, how can I send the quotation from the CRM, how it's going to affect my delivery, how it's going to affect my accounts, everything going from just through one workflow. Okay. Perfect. And during the demo, as I said before, interact with the customer. Make sure he follows you, asks for approval. Do you think, Mr. Customer, this might work at the company? Do you think if I put an approval button, it will solve your issue? Do you think if we put a validation tip over here, does it work? So I also answer you, Patrick, as well. So if with complex flows, it's good to pause, summarize what you already showed and what's coming next. If there are a lot of questions, it's okay to decline. So just talking about this point, if you're doing a complicated demo, I always like to do in the introduction, just keep the questions till the end, because it's going to be very important for me to go through the workflow and finalize everything. So usually, let's say I do a qualification call today. I'm going to book, just answering Patrick's question, I'm going to do a qualification call today. I might book the meeting tomorrow. Okay, so if I book the meeting tomorrow, the discovery call meeting, I always keep like at least 1 day for me to prepare for the demo. I don't want to show that it's very easy for me to do a demo to create a database. So I always usually give myself 2, 3, 4, 5 days, depending on how complicated the demo is. But we also want to show them, yes, Odoo is very user-friendly and it's very easy to configure and it's very easy to use and it's very nice to use. But we don't want the customer to feel, so why am I paying you for implementation? Why should I pay you for implementation? So it's also about, yes, it is very easy to use, but some things take time. Some development, some customizations take time. So it's usually 2 to 3 days. This is what I usually prefer the most, and it's going to give me some time to prepare better. So in the demo, it's about focusing on selling the benefits of Odoo. So the main 3 benefits are how integrated it is, how easy to use it is, and how flexible it is. So I always talk about the flexibility, like doing some customizations with Studio. Again, I never do customizations if I'm not 1000% sure that I know how to do them, but showing them how flexible Odoo is, and about the idea of Odoo is an open source software. We can create anything that you want. If you have the APIs, if you have the code, if you have the right people who are able to do these customizations, then we're good to go. And I always use, you see how Odoo is nice? The most important thing about Odoo, the nicest thing about Odoo. So I think Odoo's strongest point are 1, 2, 3. You see how it will save you time? So your employees will like it a lot. So I always focus on mentioning positive words, making sure that how easy it is as well. And again, talking about the 3 benefits, because again, psychologically, the person will start understanding, he's right, this guy is right. And at the end of the flow, show reports. So obviously, whenever we show all of the all of the applications that we have, every single application, I'm going to be showing them the reporting function that any report that you want can be found over here. For example, let's talk about the CRM report. So I show them the reporting, the activities, the leads. As a manager, I can see what my people did today, what my team did today, how many calls they did, how many demos or activities or whatever. So I show them this reporting function. I can even show them sometimes maybe talking about the how you guys can create your own reports as well in the spreadsheets and linking them to the dashboard app. I show them about the accounting dashboard. I show them about the basically the inventory dashboard. And I also go directly to the dashboard application to show them every single application that we have in Odoo, what are the benefits that it will give you. And even in every single dashboard, you will be having like the filters on top for you to see, for example, I want the dashboard for the past 7 days, for the past 30 days, for the past 90 days, whatever it is. You guys can be able to show them this, and you guys can even customize these dashboards as we discussed. So it depends on the customer needs, depends on what do they want. Things can also be customizable over here. And summarize what you've done. So at the beginning, I summarize what we talked about in the discovery call. I tell them the agenda, and at the end of the demo, I summarize what we did and what's the next step. Am I going to do another demo? Is it going to be a demo specifically for a specific department, for a specific team? Or is it going to be just drafting the scope of work, talking about the scope of work and going forward? Okay, and I always like to do, usually on average, small to medium customers we're talking, one discovery call, 2 or 3 demos, 1 meeting for the scope of work, and 1 meeting for the commercial. The reason why I said 2 to 3 demos is I want people to get more familiar with the software. I want people to actually feel like Odoo is part of them. Sometimes I ask the customer, do you remember how I showed you last time how to create a contact? Can you create it right now? Show me, do you remember? And so on. Because some of the customers, they ask actually for a testing database for them to try it as well. So like 2 to 3 demos, again, the more people actually use the software, the easier it's going to be and the more they will like it. And at the same time, the more I spend time with the customer, the more we're going to be building a stronger relationship. Maybe I'm going to get referrals from this client. Maybe he's going to send me some references like, hey, can you talk to my brother? He has a company. So again, it's not only about I'm wasting time. The sales cycle is taking too much. It's okay if the sales cycle takes 1 month. It's normal. Because again, I don't want to talk to the customer every single day. I don't care about closing the deal in a very quick way. Obviously, this is the goal, but take your time whenever you're closing the deal because it might have a lot of benefits. And sometimes whenever you're closing the deal super fast, you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities, a lot of information. You're going to be facing some escalations later on. So just don't have this headache. Take your time whenever you're doing the demo. Do more than 1 demo, and it's going to be way easier for later on for you to close the deal. Okay? So if you guys have any questions, again, just write them down and we can go through them as well. So what are some of the information or some of the things that will wow or impress the customer, and what are the things that we recommend usually doing in the demo, and what are the things that we do not recommend? So first of all, I show them the studio button. So I show them the studio app. How can I create a report? Maybe adjusting some fields here and there, adding a field. So I tell them, what's the report that you guys want? I can do it on the spot. Again, I make sure that I know this information. I make sure that I know how to do this. I never show them something I'm not sure of. We'll talk about it as well. I show them the website builder. So I ask them, do you guys have a website? They're going to tell me, yes, I did it on X. I'm like, why don't you use a website builder that we have? It's already integrated with the software. And you also have the AI that will build your website in like 30 seconds. They're like, really? So can I show you how it works? Great. So I show them how it works, how they add their logo, the colors, how they can double click on a picture and change the picture, how they double click on a text and they can change the text. So this will actually impress them a lot. And even with the new AI feature that we have on the version 19 will also help a lot. So I show them as well the online quotation and signing online. So I always make sure that I'm going to send them the quotation on the spot. So I just create a random quotation, not an Odoo quotation. I make sure I add the customer's email for him to see it, how they will see it, whether it is from the Odoo app, from the mobile phone, from the email, how will things look. And I ask them, can you sign it, please, on the spot, so that they will actually enjoy it, that, oh, okay, I can sign something without even having the Odoo app yet. So this is also like a nice feature for you to have. So going through the different views from the Kanban to the list view, because some people are more used to the table report and so on. And some people will tell you, no, I like the Kanban view. It's actually much more interesting. The colors, how can I put tags, and so on. Okay, the search bar and filters that we discussed before with multi-grouping by. So I always show them how they can add custom filters, even if they are in the list view, how they can add custom columns as well, how we can do the studio features, the menu to one and the one to many and so on. So I show them this part and how they can actually create whatever they did and save it in a report and save the search button, showing them the custom buttons that you have. I don't know if you remember them in the contacts or in the contacts, for example, you can see the contact and you can also see the smart buttons, which are, for example, the invoice, the subscription, the orders, the quotations, everything. So I also show them how we can add any smart button that they want for them to have a seamlessly more transitional, more easier view, and where they can, talking about the integration between the different apps, having a 360-degree view on all the system and how it looks. Okay, the connection obviously between the front end and the back end. Autofilling the contacts, so if I create any lead in the CRM, I can have it in the contact. If I create any invoice, I can have the contact automatically created. Talking about the awesome timesheets, about how the timesheets work, how can I do everything from my mobile app, and how things work, and obviously impressing them with the reports. And by the way, the reports in Odoo are one of the strongest because you can actually customize whatever it is. So the things I don't talk about are the technical explanations. I never go into technical, especially if the customer is not technical. If I'm just talking to the CEO, he's not most probably gonna know about the customizations, the technicalities, the code, no code, and I don't know what. So details of every field. So in the contacts, you have the name, you have the email, you have the location. Obviously, these are part of the system, right? So I don't want to be boring. I don't want to talk about the things which are already there and the things which are already standard as part of the system. I don't go into debug mode, the tricky options. I never customize anything in front of the customer. Maybe it didn't work. Maybe it's not going to work with me. Maybe the system decided to have a bug on the spot. So this is why I always test everything before I do it. Before jumping into the demo, I just go through my workflow, making sure everything is working, especially if you guys are using between manufacturing, raw materials, how it will create, for example, maybe a task or a project or whatever it is. Obviously, as we talked before, moving your mouse everywhere, just making sure that everything it's there and getting nervous. So this is why we should prepare everything. And going back to the app switcher. So every single time I want to go back to somewhere, I go to the main app. So the objective, the main point here is showing them how the system is already integrated, going from one place to another. So there's a question, how should we structure the sales cycle for outbound sales when we approach companies ourselves? I'm going to answer this question as soon as we finish. All right. So this is how to wow our customers and some of the mistakes to avoid. So going fast, starting fast without a proper introduction, like just introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you guys do? Which department am I? So never configure in front of the clients. Please, please, please never do this. Use, by the way, just also something just to add, use baby English. Not everyone knows ERPs. Okay, what is an ERP? Not everyone knows what's an ERP. Okay, especially if you're targeting like maybe specific markets or specific industries as well. Not everyone might know technicalities. Show the features that are not part of the customer's needs. Don't make it boring. Demo, monologue, not asking questions, being too tired, being too lazy. I always like to have my demos in the morning because I feel like people are the most energetic. So this is like a tip. I do my calls in the afternoon And I always do my demos in the morning. Okay, so saying yes to something that you don't know. So the thing I like to say here, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll triple check. I actually write it down. I have to write it down because maybe I'll show it to him. Maybe it's a development. Maybe it's something that I don't know how to present, or it's not part of the software. But I always tell them I need to double check or triple check, just for me to get some time to sit with consultants or to sit or check it out even, or to test it myself as well. Let the customer lead the demo. So if you start doing the process correctly, if you lead from the beginning, it's going to be very easy for you to close the deal. So if you should be in control of everything, you should be in control of the time, you should be in control of what's going to happen, what are the things that you need to ask, what are the things that you need to talk about. Again, especially in the discovery call, make sure that you have the upper hand as well. Because if you guys don't lead from the beginning, whenever you're going to be asking for the customer's money, it's going to be, yeah, I'll talk to you. Yeah, I'll get back to you. So it's very important for you to have this confidence and have this lead in advance. Okay, and then talking about the next steps. So it's about circling back to the client. So basically here we're talking about the scope of work. Okay, so what are the things that should be part of the scope of work? What do I write in the scope of work? How does the scope of work look? Okay, so I always tell the team, if you're sending a $10,000 implementation quotation, make sure that your scope of work looks worth $10,000. If you're sending a $50,000 implementation, make sure your scope of work looks worth $50,000. That's something which is very important. And whenever we're sending a scope of work, I tell them this is the thing that will protect your rights and will protect my rights. Why? Because we need to talk about the deliverables. Define the deliverables. What are the things that should be included in the scope? What are the things that should not be included in the scope? What are the things that we will do in phase 1? And what are the things that we will do in phase 2? Okay. Sometimes I like to add what are the workflows that we'll add in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, just for us to set expectations from the beginning. Aligning on responsibilities. So sometimes the customer tells you, okay, so I'm paying you $10,000, $15,000 for the implementation. They expect you that we, for example, as Odoo, we're going to do everything for them. I'm like, no, there are certain things that we don't have access to. For example, your current software. I don't have access to your invoices. I don't have access to your products. I don't have access to your product list, to your customer list, to your partners, to your suppliers, whatever it is. So it's very important for you to know that if you're paying $15,000, I'm not going to work. I'm not an employee who's going to be working on your behalf, especially in the software. So if you need to pay us, there are so many responsibilities. Updating everything, giving us the latest information, giving us the right product list, the right variants, the right customer list, everything updated, the right opening balances as well. Clarify the timelines and milestones. So some people will tell you, can we go live next month? We're like, no, it doesn't work. So some things take time. It's also about, and people want to go live by tomorrow directly. It's important for you to set expectations that there are certain things that the customer, the responsibility is on the customer. For example, let's say if I told the customer, can you have a meeting today for us to start doing the training, he's going to tell me no. That if you're going to keep delaying everything, I'm going to go live in 6 months rather than 3 months. Okay, so it's also important for you to set expectations and establish the success criteria, as we said. I always say the success of the project depends on you as a customer, on the software itself, and on the implementation team. The software will never limit you. Okay, the software is open source. Whatever you want on the system, we can do it for you. But do you have the time and do you have the budget for it? If yes, let's go to the implementation, to the Odoo implementation, whether you're working with Odoo directly or the implementation partner. Are you talking to the right partner? Is this partner, or does this partner have the experience enough? Then we go to the third point, which is the customer. Are you going to be available? Do you guys know what you want? Do you guys know what to expect? Or how is it? Okay. And then it's about drafting a proposal. So it's about sending them maybe 2 proposals, one for the users, one for the multi-year options, trying to sell the deal, trying to make the best out of it, trying to sell extra users, maybe if they're upselling, or trying to close more years as well on this one, and sending them obviously the implementation proposal. So guys, if you have some questions, we're going to start by asking questions, so please feel free to do so. So how should you structure the sales cycle for the outbound? So personally, for inbound leads, so the only thing which is different, I feel like the cycle is very similar. The only thing that is different is a qualification call. In the inbound, you're going to be having people who are actually interested, and that's most of the time, whether they're coming from social media, from the website, or whatever it is. For inbound, it's way easier than outbound. The advantage that you have in inbound is that the challenging, or the nice thing about inbound is that the customer is actually interested. The challenging part about outbound is that about inbound is finalizing all of the process. For example, for outbound sales, even us, we use different tools for us to get outbounds. We go to a lot of events like Dry Tags, Seamless. We participate in so many different events, booth tech events, even random events. Not every event should be related to a tech event, because every single customer, I personally believe that every single customer, yes, requires an ERP software. So if I'm going to outbound, I usually like to do a lot of face-to-face connections because it is way easier. The nice thing in Dubai is that you are allowed to do outbound. You can call any random number. So you have different softwares that you can actually get their numbers, get their position. You can filter by region, by industry, by what you guys want. So the main challenging part in outbound is only the first call. Then, once you break this ice, once you get their interest, once you get their okay that yes, let's sit and talk, and let me show you the software, it's going to be way easier. And with inbound, this is the workflow that I do. First of all, qualification, discovery, demo, and closing the deal, or commercial scope of work, whatever. With outbound, sometimes from whenever I do the qualification, the first meeting, yes, will be a discovery call, but sometimes I might show a glimpse of the software just for the person to have an idea. And the nice thing today is that we have so many companies who actually know Odoo. Like maybe before we didn't have this option, but today outbound is way easier to be very transparent, because we have so many people with all of the amazing marketing that the company is doing, the webinars, the signs, the road shows, all of these. More people are getting to know Odoo. So yeah, outbound is way easier. So if you guys have any more questions, I don't know if Faizan, I answered your question. So please, if I didn't, just let me know. I can talk about it more. And also, by the way, just to add a few notes here and there, the demo gets easier with time. So the more you actually start working on the software, the easier it is. The more you start focusing on different industries. For example, maybe the first time you're doing a detailed demo for a retail store, the next demo will be easier. Why? Because you will be having the experience. You're gonna know the pain points. Don't assume, but you're gonna know, and the customer will feel like you know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'll get to your question. So basically, this is it, and every demo will be easier. Every demo, you're gonna learn new things about the industry, and you're gonna learn new things about the software itself. And it's also very important to always ask: did I demo everything? Did I show you everything that you want? Did we answer all of the questions, or is there still anything missing? And my suggestion: be part of the implementation. Be part of the first meeting that the consultants will do. Yes, we are salespeople. I don't want to waste time. I just want to start doing the calls. I want to do the meetings, and I want to do everything. It's very important, and this is how I learned a lot about the software, about the capabilities of the software. Because again, we're not consultants. We might not know all of the features or all of the strong points that the software has. right? So it's important for you to be in the first meeting that the consultants will have with the customer. Start understanding how they ask the questions. So I started taking all of the questions that the consultant will ask in the first or in the kickoff meeting. We call it the kickoff meeting, which is the first meeting that the consultant will have with the customer. I started asking their questions because it's going to make more sense. I'm going to be asking more industry specific questions rather than telling them, yeah, how do you do your sales? So start focusing on more questions, understanding and going through the project initiation, understanding how the training goes. Watch the training. Again, the more you know about the software, the more you know your product, the easier the way you present it, the easier it is for you to sell it, and the easier it is for you to understand the customer requirements. And later on, it's not about selling anymore. It's about understanding actually what the customer wants. And I always say, we're not salespeople, we're business advisors. My job is for me to advise you if Odoo is the right solution. So once you have, and people, by the way, can see the intention. If people can see that this guy just wants to sell me something, and if this guy is actually trying to help me, being responsive, being all of this, everything, these points will help you a lot. And people can see if they can trust you or not. So we have another question. In case of clients using Zoho happily, how can we pull attention to Odoo? So look, it's always about asking the questions. What do they use Zoho for? Is it only for CRM? Again, if I don't like to be pushy. If the customer is extremely happy, then good, you're good. We don't have to over push it. And yeah, but we have an Odoo this, and Zoho doesn't have this, and we have this, and I don't know what. So I just understand, what do they use Zoho for? What is the business? Maybe there are certain things that Zoho doesn't have, but we have already. Maybe there are certain points that they like in Zoho that might not be found in Odoo. So it's also very important. I don't want to talk about price because prices are different. My strong point in Odoo is, the last point that is strong in Odoo is the price. Yes, the price is very affordable, but that's not one of my main strong points. So my main strong points is that how seamlessly the system is. We have way more apps. We have around 60, 70 apps. So you can talk about this point. Again, I never talk about Zoho is bad or SAP is bad. Oh, this one is very expensive. It's not how it is. We don't want to sound like we are better because it's just different. Every software is different. Every software has so many pros and cons, right? So just understand what they use it for. And is there anything that their current software that doesn't do? If yes, then let's talk. If your software doesn't have manufacturing, look, I can show you the full cycle, focusing on manufacturing, how it goes, right? I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I hope I did. So when should consultants be involved during the sales cycle? So there are 2 points. Personally, I'd like to be involved always. I don't like to involve a consultant from the beginning. The main sales cycle is if we're talking to small to medium industries, if the industry is very straightforward, no need to add any consultant. If I know everything about Odoo, I know how to demo Odoo, I know what are the customer limitations. If I know how to answer all of these, I don't need a consultant at the beginning. So what we usually do is I'm going to take all of the discovery call notes. I'm going to show him a demo. I'm going to write a scope of work. Then I'm going to introduce somebody from the pre-sales team for us to check the information together. Maybe there is something that I missed. Maybe there is a feature that we don't have. Maybe whatever. And then once we have the estimation of everything, I'm going to present it to the customer. This is the main workflow. If the project is too complicated, if I have a specific accounting question, I'm not an accountant, I'm not 100% sure how things work, which account, if I sell this, it's going to affect this account or that account or so on. Here, I might ask for an expert to join with me. But obviously, the goal is for us to be fully independent, fully capable of answering all of these questions for small to medium industries. If we're talking about the large industries, like the big, the 100, 200 user, 300 user deal, super complicated workflows and so on, we usually sell a gap analysis. So the first, I do a qualification meeting, I do a discovery call, then I see, no, the project is too complicated. I need to step in. We need to sell a gap analysis. And this is where the consultants will be doing everything. All right, let me know if I answered your question. Will we send the presentation? I think we will. We need to check with the marketing team. In case, okay, we answered this one. Okay. Can you be specific on what Odoo features are ahead of Zoho? By the way, we have something called the white papers. If you just put Odoo versus Zoho white papers, Odoo versus SAP white papers, you can see what are the comparisons that we have. Just make sure it is V19 and it is Zoho's latest software as well. In the retail business, I have people who bill and cashier takes the money. How is this handled? Okay, so basically you're saying that if people are stealing or if there's money that we don't know where they are, obviously there is a way. So even in the POS system, so you always need to put how much money do I have in the cashier. So obviously there needs to be an accountant who is telling, for example, this POS station has $1,000, this POS station has $1,000. Right? So once we compare all of the orders that were done to the cash, it's going to be way easier. And even whenever the cashier is closing the POS station, you need to know what's the remaining balance that you guys have. And obviously, the reports will help you a lot over here. So you can check all of the POS orders, you can check how much money you have, and then you guys can compare them. Obviously, there are certain things that no system will help you. For example, if somebody's stealing, the system is not going to know anything about it. For example, if there are certain products that are not being lost, but are not being done with a barcode scanner, you obviously can see your inventory on hand. You can compare how many products did I put and how many products do I still have. Yes, you can see all of this information, but this is how this is the easiest and best way for you to check if there's any missing products or if there's anything missing or money missing. Yeah. So what else, guys? What do you have questions about the qualification? What do you have questions about the discovery call? Any questions about demos? So let's go to go through the points, going through all of the points again. Any question do you have on a specific application? Any specific person who bills the POS station won't be receiving money from the customer. The customers pay to the cashier. Yeah, that's my point. So, for example, let's say I have this product, I have this mouse. Okay, so if I'm gonna go and buy it, I need to go to the POS station or the cashier. It's usually the same person. So they just need to do the barcode scan for it, or I just add it manually on the software or on the POS station. And that's it. They will be paying by card or by cash or whatever payment method that you guys have. And that's it. I need to compare. And even whenever you're going to the POS on Odoo, you need to select what's the customer. You need to select what is the payment method. And if they paid me cash, so obviously my cash went up. If they're paying me by card, it's also gonna affect. Guidelines to perform gap analysis for a business. So usually, this is how we take it internally in Odoo. So if usually the customer is above 50 employees, if the business is a little bit complicated. What do I mean by complicated? For example, let's say we are working with an elevator manufacturing company. Let's say we are working with a pharma medical company who manufactures the medicine. Let's say we are working with a construction company. We have all of these BOQs, all of these approvals, the procurement cycle, the tenders and everything. It's always better for us to pitch for a gap analysis. And even, by the way, whenever you're doing a discovery, the discovery is actually a mini gap analysis because you are understanding all of the business and you're understanding if Odoo will work for them. But we're talking about the big companies. By the way, today you have so many reports on what are the points that you usually take. But again, this is what we usually do. For complicated businesses, we directly throw in a gap analysis, especially if they're using so many different softwares, especially if there's too many details that I, as a salesperson, might not know. For example, last time we sold a gap analysis for they do manufacturing for the tanks that you guys put that you see in the buildings. The product was too complicated because it has so many different steps. The input of one product is the export is the finished product of the other stage. So they had a lot of overheads. They wanted to calculate every single thing. So no, we had to get the consultants who are expert in this industry, and this is how it usually is. We always in the gap analysis. And this is how our team is based off. So the consultants, the functional consultants, are divided into different industries. So we have the experts in construction, we have the experts in trading, we have the experts in retail. We divided them into a group of like industries, and every single industry has its own consultants. I hope I answered your questions. Shazmir, can you talk a little bit more? What do you mean by business enters bill? So things so with the customer, it's usually an invoice, and it's basically anytime they're performing anything, any transaction, it will automatically be recorded in the inventory, and so inventory, we're talking about the warehouse of the shop, and automatically it will be reflected in the accounting as well. As a sale, it will be recorded as a sale directly. So based on the customizations that you guys did, based on the configuration that you guys did, it will affect directly. So they're not the same in your business. We can talk about it if you want. I put my email over here. If you guys need, we can talk about it. So we can have further discussions as well. This is my email. It's rasa@odoo.com. If you guys need anything, we surely can talk about it. That we can pitch on. So Shahul, it's the same thing. So if you go to Google, you just put Odoo versus Zoho, Odoo versus SAP white papers. You guys can actually see everything. So you can see the only thing I think that is not mentioned is the price. But other than this, the features are already there. So for the SAP users, the features, I think the main ERPs are all have white papers, which are the comparisons between Odoo and the other points. So let me know if you guys still have anything. If you guys, we still have a few minutes. So if you guys still have any questions, if you guys need anything, we can do so. And if you guys are done, we can close as well. And by the way, if there's any question that was, if you guys ask me any question and I didn't get the chance to see it, please also let me know so that we can also tackle it right now or answer it right now. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Let me check with the marketing team if they will be sending you the PowerPoints. I hope you guys benefited from it. And if you guys need anything, we're here to support you. We're here to help. So you can contact me by email and we can help you on everything. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day and goodbye.